teased for over a month, but now it's finally time. The reveal of my first car. Hello YouTube, Miller Corner here, welcome back once again, and in this video it is something I've been looking forward to doing for a long time. I finally get to show you my first car. I'm not wasting any time with this one, I'm just going to go and get it. Oh yeah. This is a 2002 Fiat Seicento Sporting, the sportier, cooler version of the dinky Seicento city car made in the Polish town of Tychy in the late 90s and early 2000s. So this is it, this is my 2002 Fiat Seicento Sporting. Come on over there, I'm going to guide you around and show you some of the brilliant things that I just love about this little car. Down here, these are different wheels, they're not the same. The standard models doesn't have these, the 13-inch alloy wheels, they're just really cool. They're nice, give it a bit of, you know, you've probably eaten pizzas bigger than that, but they're a cool little wheel, and they just set it off nicely, give it a bit of extra bling. Around the side there's the sort of, the bit here, rubber trim says Sporting, which obviously that's not usual, you wouldn't find that on all of them. That's where the fuel goes, that makes it go brum. Goes in there and you get charged far too much for what goes in there, but we won't discuss that today. Around the back is, I think, the best thing. It shows it off well, Sporting. It shows that, you know, we've got the standard Seicento badge, it's Sporting. It shows Sporting there that you've got the best one, and it is the best one to have because it comes with everything, and it's all about having the best bits, and that's what you want. You want the best bits on your Seicento to show that you've got the best one. This is part of the body kit. Obviously the Sporting models had a kind of a different body kit. That adds horsepower, that adds bath sticker. I think that is, I think, 4 brake horsepower, that one. But that's not stock, that's an upgrade. The Sporting models had these different rear bumpers, you know, the vents down there, it's kind of puffed up. It looks a bit more kind of body kitty and cool. And the kind of early ones, they had a spoiler up here. They had a spoiler up here. In the future, mine will be getting one, don't you worry. You got this bigger, tougher, beefier, just more aggressive front bumper. The basic Seicento's got kind of black plastic, and it just doesn't look as nice. It just doesn't look very good. It's not that stylish. This is much better. You've got kind of big vents going on down here, and you've got big plastic gills, and it's kind of coming out. This is the facelifted one, came along in 2001. Prior to that, we had a kind of more square front bumper, which I'm not much of a fan of. It looks a bit plain. It looks like it's just missing something. It doesn't look right. This is spot on. It looks kind of more, it looks more aggressive, and it looks cool, and it looks hot hatchy, which is what I like. The Sporting body kit, which is obviously the front bumper, the rear bumper you've already seen, and on the earlier ones, they had side skirts and a little rear spoiler. They all add up to make this car look a lot tougher. It's a bit of a kind of plain Jane, soft, wimpy looking thing as standard. So when you combine that kind of more aggressive front bumper, you've got the kind of beefier rear bumper as well. And on the Abarth models as well, you get the side skirts, which I'm not a fan of, but they're there and they help. And the little spoiler, which I will be putting on this at some point, it will make it look even better. You end up with a car that could have looked like something a pharmacist would drive, but now it looks like a proper bona fide hot hatch. And obviously more mag wheels around there, we like those. There's more trim. It's just really cool. Just take it in, drink in the profile. It just looks cool, you know. It's a little kind of sporty, hot hatch looking thing, and that was the whole point of the sporty one. It was to give a standard Seicento a kind of more cool, aggressive, kind of a sporty look, but by the name obviously. However, what you'll find under the bonnet is not a turbo hot hatch engine. So under here, if I pull that. Under here, you will not find a screaming turbocharged engine, I'm afraid to say. In fact, you won't even find an engine of this large capacity. You will find, under here, 1.1 litres of Fiat's finest. That's 1108cc. They call it the fire engine. This is the multi-point injector version, denoted by the sort of more circular airbox there. 54 horsepower. Now, your food blender probably has more than that, and in fact, a 1970s Volkswagen Beetle has about the same. But it doesn't matter, this thing's light. It only weighs 3/4 of a tonne, so it doesn't need a lot of power to haul itself around. It's quite easy to access. I can get all the way down in here, I can get to all the bits I need to get to. I can get to all the kind of jets and access and things. Injectors are just under here, so they're easy to get to. Got the spark plugs down here. Exhaust is just there. It's really easy to access, and that's the whole thing about this car. It's about small, it's about compact, it's about easy to access, and it's not about power, because the thing is, the whole thing of this car is kind of showing that you can have fun with not a lot of power, because it certainly hasn't got a lot. But that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, it's the old car ethos. You don't need a lot of weight to have fun, and that's the thing. If you take the weight down, you can take the power down, and that means you drink less fuel and you have more fun. Inside, we've got just more awesomeness. Because this is the sporting one, obviously, that denotes you get a few extra goodies. You will note I've got a leather steering wheel here. I don't know if the cameraman can see, we've got a leather gear knob down here. That's nice. That kind of gives it the more, it's just nice. It's kind of the more hot hatchy. It makes it feel a bit more upmarket. I don't know if you can see, I'll kind of move around. The seats are kind of more side bolstery. The ones in the standard Seicento are a bit more flat. But these ones are kind of more side bolster supported, which means when you go around corners you've got a bit more grip. It's more about that whole making it more hot hatchy, which is what I like. I like that they kind of took the standard Seicento, they changed a few little bits with this model. We got a different gearbox for kind of closer ratios, we got better suspension in this one, we got a lot of cool features. The thing about this interior is it's all about convenience, and like, you know, you've got the little storage hole here. These are glasses, these are for people who failed to see properly, like myself. You've got a little rev counter there. That was only on the sporting models, which we like that a lot. That's just, you know, a little rev counter there. You got your little speedo, your little rev counter, a little basic trip computer. It's just about basic features, you know. It's about what you need, nothing more, and what you need to enjoy yourself. And if you come around the other side, go around the other side, you will see that we have just more awesome, I think, in here is the word. We don't have a conventional glove box, I'm afraid. That is a little bit of a downside. Cameraman's just making himself comfy there. We don't have a glove box. We've only got a kind of glove shelf, for want of a better word. There's biscuits there. That's for the extra horsepower. That is one thing that this car doesn't have, unfortunately, which is a glove box lid. It's kind of unfortunate, and I think that will be something. It's kind of hard to change, unfortunately, but it's easy to access. You know, you can chuck all your crap in there and you can chuck all your stuff and whatever. It's about simple controls. You know, it's all these big buttons here. You know, you've got your fog lights, you've got your hazards, you've got your heated rear window. There's all your knobs for those of you that are dirty-minded. It's all about simplicity. The only thing I think which I don't like about the whole ergonomics of the interior is something that I will point out in a video coming up, and it's these. The electric window switches are down here. I'm not complaining about electric windows, that's a very good thing to have. But normally you get them over here. You get them kind of on the door cards, and that means you can be driving along and you can push it and it's fine. You know, you can do it while driving along, don't take your eyes off the road. Because they're down here, you're driving along and you kind of have to swap blindly, and you can end up changing the vents or opening the radio up. In the back, not a hell of a lot going on. I'll pull this, look down here, we've got a handy catch thing there. That's easy, simple, flips open. In the back, there's a coat, that's for added horsepower. Not a hell of a lot going on in the back. I don't know if you can see, I'm quite tall, I'm about 6'1", and there is no room there to sit, to speak of. Basically, if your friends have got legs, I wouldn't put them in the back of this car. Similarly, if your passenger's got legs, they're not getting in the back either. You can kind of adjust it, you can get a bit of adjustability there, but because of the way the dashboard comes out, you're still not going to be getting particularly tall people in the front and the back of this car, if I'm completely honest with you. That said, it's a cool interior. It's small. It's a bit like an original Mini in that you can get 4 people in here in a squish. There is a bit of storage space. It's all about efficiency. It's small, it's lightweight, and it's just the best. It's all about being compact. It's a really, really small car. You'll note it's got a really small footprint, and that means it's more manoeuvrable. It means you can park it easier, you can get around roundabouts quicker, you can nip in between gaps. As a city car, you want it to be as small as possible. There are other advantages as well to having a small footprint. Combined with the lightweight, not only is it easy to park, easy to get into tight spaces, and very manoeuvrable in tight areas, it's economical. I'm getting 50 miles to the gallon on a regular basis. That's not a kind of I might not. I am guaranteed to get nearly 50 miles to the gallon, if not more, depending on how I'm driving and where I'm driving. And with the lightweight and the compact size, there is the biggest advantage to this car. The thing that makes it awesome is that it's fun. It's so light, it's so chuckable, it is just amazing. The steering, instant, darts, response in your hand, and it is so light and so nimble. It's unbelievably good fun. It just responds to the slightest touch, and it's amazing. The responsiveness of this thing, oh, it's so good, because it is not a fast car, as we've said. The fact of the matter is, 54 horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 14 seconds. It's not fast, it's really not fast. But it just doesn't need to be, because the joy of this car is not the straight, it's the bits in between. The corners where you can chuck it in, it grips on. It's so much fun, this car. It just feels like I'm connected to the road. It's amazing. It's just so good in the corners. I cannot put into words how well this car handles. It's a happy car. It's got a happy personality. It's enjoying every minute of what I'm throwing it into. It's almost encouraging. It spurs you on. It does that classic Fiat thing. Go on faster, keep it in there, have more fun. And that's what I'm doing in this car. I'm having fun. But because I haven't got much power, I'm not going very fast. So I'm having fun, but I'm staying legal. I'm staying within the speed limit. And there's not a lot of cars you can say that for. This is why we love MX-5s, and that is why I love this thing. So what's the plan for this car then? Am I just going to show you guys it, and then that's it? Oh no, we didn't build up to all this for nothing. As I enjoy this deliciously twisty backcountry road, I want to reveal to you guys my plan for this car. My plan for this car is very simple. This is a blank canvas. It's a really good thing to start with, but there's still things I want to do to it. I've got some plans of ways to make it look better, sound better, handle better, perform better, and just be generally more enjoyable. And throughout these series of videos when I work on this car, that is what you're going to see. I'm going to take the basic Seicento Sporting and create, if you like, a super Seicento. I'm going to create my perfect vision of the perfect Seicento, and that is what we're trying to create. We're going to go through a series of videos where I learn how to work on cars, how to fix things, how to modify things, how to upgrade things. I'm going to learn with it, I'm going to work on it, I'm going to love it even more than I currently do. I'm going to create my ultimate Seicento from this already brilliant example that is already in pretty damn good nick, considering it's 14 years old. It's in pretty damn good nick, and it is so much fun. All we're going to do is take it, improve it. We're going to work on it to make it even better. We're taking Fiat's incredible starting base and making it into something even more brilliant. So that's the plan then. We're going to create the super Seicento. For now though, that series of videos is coming up, hopefully very soon. I hope you've enjoyed looking at my wonderful little car. And just thank you all so much for watching. It's been a lot of work, and I've really been looking forward to showing you guys the car. I learned to drive in it, I've enjoyed it, I've owned it for almost exactly a year to the day, and I have absolutely loved it. And you know what, my love for this car hasn't dwindled one bit. It's so much fun, it's got such a personality, and it's enjoyable to drive. And what I'm going to do is we are going to create a super Seicento. Watch out very soon for that series of videos. But for now guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one, people. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to see what happens to my brilliant little Fiat in the future. For now though, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one guys. Have a good one. Woo-hoo!